Hello to everyone, my name is Gregor and welcome to our new episode Surfing the Elliott Waves, where I will look at some of the most interesting developments for this week. This video has been brought to you by Orbex. I will look at the Euro, Aussie, Gold, Euro Pound and the S&P 500. Now firstly the S&P 500, again this market is now trying to turn to the downside, and I would not be surprised if maybe we could retest these February levels. Keep in mind that German DAX is still trading significantly to the downside. We have also seen recently turn down on Aussie as well, so it looks like that there's even more run to safety, so higher US dollar equals to lower stocks, and based on this Elliott wave pattern that I'm currently tracking, is that we could actually see this wave C drop based on this adjusted wave count that I recently updated. So we haven't seen this broken trend line. If you were watching our updates last week, then I said that this broken trend line here of this channel could provide more upside. But since this didn't happen, in fact, we are keep moving to the downside. I think that we either stay sideways here or maybe even retest this 4,000 level. It's still very strong psychological and technical support. So there is room for more weakness, but eventually I think that at some point we will see some very nice bullish reversal pattern. But for now we are not there yet. We see stocks still in risk off mode, and with this in mind I think that we should respect more potential turning point on Aussie as well. Now if we look at the daily chart, keep in mind that we are still tracking this counter trend movement here for a wave B. So I'm thinking about more weakness to complete this 7th swing correction that is still underway in my opinion from 2021 highs. So as long as the stocks are in risk off mode, there is a chance that Aussie will have a strong resistance above. So looking at the intraday chart, which is probably the most important at this stage, is that we have this 5 waves drop. Okay, so these 5 waves down suggests that market has stopped out here. Even if just the temporary highs, I think that there is room for more weakness, especially after a rally. So watch out for this resistance here at 73.45. That would be the perfect ideal zone for a potential new sell-off, of course after a free wave rally. So I think that this market could now slow down a little bit and then more weakness. Also I forgot to mention that we clearly broken this trendline support, so even if just short term, I think that there is room for more weakness here. Now if we take a look also on the euro dollar, this one, as you know, has been a very strong bearish trend. To give you an update here on a higher time frame charts first, I still stick with this parity target, so I will remain bearish on euro dollar, and will keep moving, or will be keep looking to the downside after any free wave retracement, and ideally we will see the next retracement, the bigger one, higher for a wave E. However, firstly we need to see a completion of a wave D, which at the moment is at the lower side of this triangle pattern. So maybe support is not far away. This is something that what we have to consider, but at the same time keep in mind that Bund market is trading to the upside. We see Bund market turning higher from a major long-term trendline support, so I think that there can be much more upside coming, and of course this equals to lower prices on euro, but of course maybe after this very nice rally that could occur still for a wave E. So looking at the short-term structure to complete this wave D, well, wave D clearly has moved into very nice FIB support levels here. There was also some noise when you look back from levels of 2020, so clearly very important levels down here, but more importantly the 4-hour chart still does not show a completed 5 subwaves here within this wave C that I'm tracking away from these February highs. So it looks like that there could be room for more weakness after next bounce. Nice resistance obviously could be at this lower trend line of this channel. So that was actually a base channel that was broken here. Normally this confirms indication for a wave 3 sell-off, and the upcoming pullback for a wave 4 could stop at this trend line. So this trend line could then act as a resistance. So I'm looking for more weakness here, but just be aware of this wave 4 rally. Now let's take a look on gold. Now gold has made a very nice breakout over the last few weeks. And looking at this daily chart, as you know, I've been keep been looking higher for the last few months, because I've been tracking this huge consolidation here that was in place from 2020. So I was looking for a triangle, and looks like this triangle is now finished because of a decisive break here above these previous swing highs, which could now react as a support if we get a pullback. The pullback would not be surprised, because on the 4-hour chart here I can count 5 waves up. Okay, so in my opinion, these 5 waves up suggest that maybe current bulls are moving into some extreme of optimism, as you know, sentiment is very bullish on gold. So maybe that's something that we should consider. As you know, if something is just um, widely expected, well, then maybe there can be some opposite reactions actually. Okay, so I'm expecting maybe a limited upside here, and then just be aware of a 3-wave pullback before this market may continue higher. We can also count 5 subwaves up within this wave 5, so clearly there can be some strong resistance up here. But longer term speaking, of course, I will be looking for a 5th wave to break to a new all-time high sometime this year. Now let's take a look also on euro pound. Now euro pound has been very bearish for the last few months, and if not years. And what we see right now is an overlapping formation here in this recent bear trend. Okay, and this indicates that bears, yes, they are still in progress, but they are losing strength. You can clearly see that this is much slower price action compared to the previous sell-offs. Okay, so this represents ideally the final stages of this weakness, of this bear trend. And what I'm looking at here is a potential ending diagonal in a wave 5. Okay, so even if we just see a short-term recovery, I still think that there can be a recovery coming, because this indicates that bears, as I said, are losing strength, and that we could see bullish reversal at least for a 3-wave movement. Now looking at the 4-hour chart, notice that market is trying to stabilize once again at this lower trendline support, and looks like minor's first impulse is already unfolding from the lows. So watch out for potential more upside here, at least towards the upper side of this wedge pattern. Of course, the more importantly for bulls would be this broken trend line resistance, which is also the same or similar line to this upper line of this wedge pattern. Okay, so watch out for euro pound to potential build, that is potentially trying to build a base here. Okay traders, thank you very much for your attention. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and talk to you soon. Bye.